Hi, everyone. Welcome to SASH Club Online. I'm Ariella. We're so glad that you're here. While we wait for folks to join, drop an intro in the chat, share a little bit about yourself, topics like you'd like to cover in meetings, and what you hope our club can do together. Just a quick reminder, please do not share any personal details about sexual harassment or assault. If you want to talk about those topics, um, feel free to share it in a way that this happened to someone you know, or just speak in general terms. And if you haven't filled out our member form yet, the link is in the chat. Here's the plan. So for today's meeting, we'll have a short presentation, and you can comment or ask questions in the chat anytime, and we'll show a preview of the zine. After that, we'll stop the recording, we'll respond to questions, and we'll open it up for discussion. You'll have the option then to kind of turn on your camera and microphone and engage. And then at the end, we'll share a super quick survey. Please fill that out before you leave the meeting. And if you come to 3 meetings and fill out the surveys, you'll receive a certificate of achievement. So thank you so much for joining us and for being a part of the SASH Club community. So today's meeting is the zine showcase for the Misogyny Free Schools zine. So we're going to be sharing with you about the campaign. We're going to be talking a little bit about the zine process, and then we'll be showing you the first draft of the zine so far. So just a little bit of background for those of us who didn't join us last time or aren't familiar with the campaign. Zines are self-published magazines or booklets. They're really DIY. They're very creative, and they can be about anything that you're passionate about, any topic that you care about. And they have roots in activism, in feminist and social justice culture, and especially with youth. It's a process that helps uplift voices that are often not centered in mainstream media because it is so DIY and self-published. So we're really happy to honor that legacy and be bringing SASH Club to that work. And in case you're unfamiliar with our campaign, Misogyny Free Schools, that's really the focus of our zine. And it's a campaign that was started by Stop Sexual Assault in Schools, which is the organization that created SASH Club and SASH Club Online. The campaign really aims to address the rise that we're seeing right now of misogyny, harmful gender norms, gender bias, toxic sexism, that we're really seeing impact students and youth, and is influencing the next generation. So just to make sure we have some shared language, misogyny is the prejudice, dislike, or hostility towards women and girls and gender expansive folks. It's the belief that women and girls and genderqueer people are inferior, unequal, or undeserving of respect, and attitudes or behaviors that devalue, dismiss, or harm them. So before we reveal the zine, we're going to share some resources, suggest some discussion questions to keep in mind for after the recording, and offer opportunities to continue engaging with the zine. So the name of our zine is We Have the Power to Create Misogyny-Free Schools. And I think this is such an important title because it really emphasizes that we as a collective, as a community, have so much power to mobilize, shift, and change culture and change norms. So I love this title, and I think it really encapsulates all the submissions, but also the energy, the grassroots movement that we are building and are a part of. So quickly, I'm just going to share some resources. This slide deck will be posted online, so you can click on the links to access the resources. So this article discusses the importance of Misogyny-Free Schools campaign. It shares more about what's happening right now with Title IX and the impact that has on our ability to protect and support students. And it was written by the co-founder of Stop Sexual Assault in Schools. So, this power topic, misogyny and male supremacy, it's not just a joke, is a youth focused presentation which you can use individually or in a group setting. And here are some other resources we recommend checking out the Misogyny Free Schools campaign website, a really informative webinar, and another article that can be really helpful information in understanding what we can do to build this movement for respect and safety. And then here's some ways to connect with us. We're on Instagram and have a couple different accounts there. You can also reach out to us via email, sign up for our newsletter, and you can learn more on the SASH Club website about how to start a club. So here are some discussion questions to keep in mind for our discussion following the zine reveal. So, kind of what stood out to you, what messages from the zine or ideas from the zine resonated or felt important for you to share with your community? How can we use the zine to raise more awareness, to create change? What are other places that we can share the zine, whether that's in person or online, to spark some more meaningful conversations? And then we'll have the opportunity. We'd love for contributors that are joining us after the recording to share with us more about your piece and your process and your inspiration. And then we'll close out by together thinking about what's one concrete step we can do to really amplify the messages from the zine and advocate for misogyny-free schools. And then an opportunity outside of this meeting to keep the momentum going is to write a blog post about the zine. So, whether that's sharing about your own submission or reflecting on the content or sharing about kind of how your club members or community members maybe perceived it, this is a great opportunity to kind of share with the SASH Club community, what inspired you, what you learned from it, what if there's any ideas you have for how we can create misogyny-free schools in your community. And then before I get into the zine, I just want to echo a huge thanks. Thank you to all of the contributors who put so much time and energy into their submissions. It was just so beautiful to see all of the different mediums and, uh, you know, incredible focuses that people shared with us. I know it takes so much courage and bravery that art can feel very personal and vulnerable. So we want to thank everyone who contributed and also a big thank you to Darko, the graphic designer who helped bring all of these submissions together. Thank you so much, Darko. All right, so now we'll reveal the zine, followed by a discussion. So our zine is rich with content, so we'll take a quick look. We'll also send you the link if you've signed up in the SASH Club Online forum, so you can dive in, reflect, and share. And you'll be able to select images and links in the zine for videos and resources to explore. So, in this first piece, Misogyny Leads to Violence, Andrea describes the atmosphere in schools where judgment harms everyone. She says, if we don't stand up, these ideas won't just stay in middle and high school, they'll turn into violence. I don't know about you, but I refuse to let that happen. In the second piece, is this the new school culture? A parent reflects on the impact of online influencers, the importance of talking together about social media, and concludes that I won't let misogyny raise my child. And again, I'm going to move through these a little bit quickly. So we encourage you to sign up for the SASH Club online form. So that way you can receive the full zine and spend more time reading all of these incredible submissions. This third piece is femphobia. It talks about the fear, devaluation, or hatred of anything seen as feminine. So when a gay boy is bullied for acting like a girl, or a trans girl is excluded or harassed, that's not just homophobia or transphobia, that's misogyny too. In the misogyny-free submission, it illuminates the many different ways and places that impact student lives. How to Be a Chill Girl is about men's expectations and women's socialization to please them. It explains how misogyny creates and rewards the chill girl because it keeps women's behavior within the boundaries that serve male comfort and control. The chill girl isn't authentic or empowered. She's the patriarchy's public relations makeover. Jane is bringing the heat to melt the chill girl. Going to give folks a couple minutes to look at the submissions, and then we'll move on. In Dating in the Face of Misogyny, Bella offers strategies to help detect whether a dating partner is safe. She says, dating now is about being alert. You're protecting yourself in a world that still makes misogyny look like a personality trait. In Who's Responsible, a parent describes the hateful, misogynistic speech and unwelcome touching their daughter endured starting in kindergarten. Because her school failed to stop the behavior, the children and parent participated responses to the practice responses to the harasser, including statements like, I don't feel comfortable answering you because there isn't an answer that feels safe. The burden to stay safe falls on the child. In Protecting Daughters by Policing Them, Joanne Finkelstein points out how misogynistic, sexist, and racist dress codes are rationalized to keep girls at school. We're teaching girls, even at school, that they can't escape having their bodies sexualized. Children want to be seen for their developing intellect, not their developing bodies. The zine includes toolkits on dress code harms and reforms. In Unprotected, Anxious, and Unsure, we hear about the classic example of the misogynistic behaviors students endure, the bra snap. Ignoring sexual harassment sends a message that it's acceptable to treat students this way. In our next submission, The Andrew Tate Effect, it links to an important podcast from Australia where they're not afraid to talk about misogyny, especially how boys harass their female teachers. Warning, the language is spicy. Select the link to listen. Intimidating Girls and Teachers in Australia reveals the types of misogyny we see in schools around the world. Tap a link to find out how males have learned how to menace their teachers by age 14. In Dressing Slutty, Degrading and Dehumanizing Girls, Tanya talks about normalizing sexual objectification and dehumanizing people, creating an environment known as rape culture. They probably don't even know why they think this way about girls, women, and genderqueer people, she says. In Sexist Humor, Daniel talks about harmful misogynistic humor and 5 steps to take when hearing sexist language. Before graduating high school, Daniel co founded the Jordan High School SASH Club. In Consider Me, a member of the West Ranch SASH Club explores the absurdity of the statement, Your body, my choice, which soared in popularity around the November 2024 US election, with one post on X now seen over 103 million times. The zine's creator writes she was inspired by a SASH Club resource, Misogyny and Male Supremacy, It's Not Just a Joke. In Lead the Way, My Butterfly, the zine's creator writes, I was inspired by women around me and my own experiences as a teenager. I hope to bring awareness to the process of healing and actively making a difference by standing up for what you believe in. In Tooling Up Against Misogyny, Dr. Maddox says, as a millennial woman, I'm deeply concerned that younger generations are not only facing the long legacy of misogyny in schools, but also more incidents and increasingly violent encounters with it. It Happened to Taylor Swift is a reminder that anyone can be a victim of deepfake nudes. A US middle school teacher was horrified when students circulated a deepfake image of her. This way, it impacted my career and is indescribable, she said. Select the article to find out what one student had to say after she and her classmates were victimized. In I'm not bullying, or in I'm not buying what they're selling, Stop Sexual Assault in Schools founder Joel Levine reflects on the manosphere hype and that influencers are literally selling young men and why they buy it. Did you know that many women adopt the sexist propaganda spewed out by the manosphere? The Misogyny Free School flyer takes you directly to resources on the campaign pages. Select the links to explore and get more involved. In my dream school, Soleimane, a youth activist in Burkina Faso, Africa, describes girls' experiences of misogyny. He writes, I dream of a school where every voice matters, where everybody is safe, where every dream can grow. In When Young People Get Informed, Stereotypes Crumble, Soleimane transformed a photo of himself leading an empowering youth workshop with the goal of taking down stereotypes. In Smart Sons, Pretty Daughters, Joanne Finkelstein talks about how girls internalize messages about boys being smarter. Tap the link to access her many insightful articles. The Love, the Fear is a short story about a haunting, toxic dating relationship. Romantic relationships, regardless of gender identity, can be tainted by misogynistic beliefs and behaviors. In No Means No, Sophia takes a moment to reflect on consent, reminding others that just because I look cute doesn't mean I say yes. In What Makes Up Misogyny, Christina reflects on the facets of misogyny, including discrimination, contempt, abuse, disdain, and entitlement. She aspires to protect others from the kinds of abuse her family experienced. The mental load of objectification reveals the emotional and cognitive toll of growing up under the gaze of objectification. It invites us all to imagine what girls could achieve if they were valued for who they are instead of what they look like. In Fighting Freedom from Gender Stereotypes, Gray shares the story of their lost childhood and embracing their feminine non binary identity. They end saying, I'm still blooming. I'm still fighting. I'm still trying my best to be me. Gray's poems illustrate the harm misogyny can also cause LGBTQ plus people. In Do Your Part, Girls Learn International reminds us that we can all do something to make a change. Let's reflect on how we can each take action to create gender equity.